Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's session. I would be spending this half an hour to explain two aspects. The first, how an MBA graduate during his 2 years should prepare for the employer to recruit him. And in the second part, I would be trying to explain how an employer looks at individuals when he is interviewing candidates. The first and foremost point I would like to explain to pursuing MBA graduates that they need to have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. A short-term goal should be there with every student who joins an MBA program to make sure that his first internship program should be with a company where he would like to pursue his career. That is, if I would like to join an industry or a sector in sales and marketing, I should always concentrate on my internship where I should pursue my 60 days internship in sales and marketing. And when I choose my subjects for specializations, I should make sure that in my first year, I also should look at a life project. This helps an individual on a preparation of a very strong resume when he applies to companies. When he is in an internship program for 60 days, he should make sure that this 60 days is an experience for an individual to understand the organization and mainly do those jobs which are related to him to make his career. When he comes back after internship, it is very important for a student to see that he understands that he is going to seek jobs on the basis of internship. I have seen a lot of employers when recruiting MBA fresh graduates, the emphasis is on finding out what did the student do in the first year. Has he done a live project to understand where he's applied? Or is the internship giving him the added advantage to give answers to the employer? An internship program is a window for him to seek the right opportunity. In his second year, when he chooses a specialization, he should define himself that if I would like to do my job after my MBA in the field of marketing or sales, should choose a subject in his third and fourth semester which would help him. I would like to give you a small example. If I would like to pursue my career in a B2B environment, I should understand and study a B2B subject. And I should also take up a live project in my third semester to understand what I have learned in my class and also do a live project. It is very important for a student to make sure that understanding the environment of a B2B is very important when he applies for jobs. Because questions in an interview would be asked on these bases. When the student completes his MBA program, the first thing he should make sure that he is sure of that company. Because you are going to make careers. When you first join a job after your MBA, please spend 6 months to 1 year to understand the processes of those companies. Because what you have learned in these 2 years of MBA is a 6 months of understanding the company's process. Because every company has got its defined processes. These processes needs to be understood by the student in the first 6 months. Learn every aspect of that job. Get trained to show that after 6 months that I have learned what the organization wants, and in the second 6 months of my job I will start proving myself. Because every employer would look at a turnaround period of 6 months to 1 year for somebody to start performing and giving results. I would like to give you another example here. If I choose to join a retail sector and if I am working for an organization, I would be first trained for the first 6 months of my job thoroughly on all aspects. That is, how I should see my merchandising, how should I display the merchandise, how should a cash counter operate, what is the turnaround period for a customer, and what is customer satisfaction. Because in retail, once a customer walks out happy from a store, he is bound to come back to that store again. So these are the trainings the corporates give you for the first 6 months. They don't expect you to perform. But if you have learned and start performing in the second 6 months of your first year job, they will realize that this guy or this girl is an asset to me, and you have made your career in retail sector. Very important for students to stick for minimum 1 to 2 years in a particular company or an industry or a job is that becomes your first job. And when you see your growth, this becomes the foundation for your career. When this starts off, every career is built on the foundation. So when I have completed my job tenure from 1 year to 2 years, this shows that I am committed and I would be giving back to the company on output. Every individual who joins, let's take an example of a finance company. If I join a banking sector and I have been trained for the processes, for example, every bank has got its own software. I will be trained on these softwares and I would be spending my 3 to 6 months when I start. And when I start looking at a counter and I start handling a banking process, it is very important that the student understands that this is where I will start. And I will start building my career in the banking sector. In today's private sector banks, you have seen that the first and foremost career opportunity a student gets is in sales. A lot of our students shy away from sales. But believe me, sales is the foundation of any sales or marketing career, be it any sector. Because if I prove myself in the first 6 months to 1 year, I make myself very, very sure of where I would like to achieve. This is the short-term goal which I was talking about. Now let me reiterate on the second and most important, that is the long-term goal. Every student should make a long-term goal, that is in the next 5 years after I complete my MBA, where I would like to go and where I would like to see myself on 2 aspects. That, where is my position in that company and what is my salary. To achieve this, every student should start building themselves on the career front. That is, I should start looking at developing myself in the sector which I am working. For example, a lot of students feel that if I have joined sales and I have been working in the FMCG sector, I have now achieved what I wanted. That's a short-term goal. But the long-term goal should be in the next 5 years, if I want to see myself as a state head or a South India head, where and how should I achieve that? Achieving these goals is very important because you need to start building on your career. 6 month certification courses are available online. For example, if I want to move from a retail sector to a online platform sales company, It is very important for me to understand how does an online e-commerce company work. For that, I need to understand the basics of digital marketing. I should see myself in the next 6 months during my job, I remove 1 hour every day and do an online program and get myself certified. These are the ones after your 2 years of a job, start building on your career to achieve that 5-year goal. That goal is important for you because these are the milestones which you keep achieving and start establishing yourself in that particular sector. When a long-term goal is achieved, let's imagine you have a 5-year milestone, you have an 8-year milestone, a 10-year milestone, whichever you feel that you need to achieve, you need to have these milestones. When you start achieving these small milestones and start getting what you really wanted to do, that is where you start enjoying your job. I have seen a lot of students joining a company feeling that this is a very big company, a multinational, a very good name in the market. 6 months, it becomes a monotonous job for a student. I have seen a lot of students leaving jobs and jumping to other companies for a mere 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. Please, I have been in this industry for 16 years and I have seen students doing this mistake. My request would be stick on, learn, understand, achieve your short-term goal and start preparing for a long-term goal. Success will definitely come when you have these milestone achievements done year on year. Now, I'll move on to my second part which I said, that is related to an employer. If a student pursues an MBA program, an employer is always looking at what does this individual have with him which would contribute to my organization. Every goal for a fresher who comes out is to achieve his first job. Now when I go for an interview, the interviewer first would like to look at whether this individual is really confident, has done something which is related to his career aspirations, like the internship programs, a certificate program, which can add value when you are sitting across with an interviewer. The various marketing specializations which you choose, be it marketing, finance, HR, IT, family business and entrepreneurship, you should be very sure that this is the place where I want to go. This is the career which I want to prove. Because an interviewer would like to see that confidence in an interview and interview a student on these aspects. In marketing, I have seen a lot of students looking at an FMCG or retail. But a lot of students shy away from an e-commerce company because they have not looked at getting knowledge related to a digital marketing platform. A finance student always looks at a banking or an NBFC. But ahead from this, there is investment banking. There is something which is today looking at a fintech company. A fintech company is so emerging in the real world today that a lot of students forget to do something which is related to analytics, data science. People shy away from these during their MBA program. But my suggestion would be kindly do these certification programs. This would help an individual crack that interview. A lot of HR students feel that my area of expertise should be in either recruitment or my general management. But a lot of students don't understand that when I become a HR recruiter, the basics which are required, that is, how should I find out a login process related to Naukri, Times Job, whichever portal I've been given to source a candidate for my job profile. A lot of students look at these as a hindrance when they join these HR consultancy companies. This becomes a monotonous job when they join a HR recruitment company. But this is where the challenge lies. If during my MBA program, I did small things related to finding a job profile, recruiting. I keep telling a lot of students, HR students, that kindly be a part of the placement committee. Because every individual who joins in a placement assistance for jobs in the college, They need to have a resume writing done. They need to source out companies. They need to see that this database floats into all the employers. A HR student can easily do this because during his classes he's been trained to do that. He's been trained and also told that this would be helpful for him for his hands-on experience when he goes in for job opportunities. A lot of people feel that only related to my field I will learn. That is, if I am a HR student, I will only learn it is related to general management. I will not look at recruitment. But understand today the HR functions in an organization on the overall gamut of HR. That is, they do everything starting in from sourcing, recruitment, offer letters, induction programs, even training sometimes is undertaken by the same individual because the size of the company matters. We should always make sure that what I learn in the classroom is converted into a live project, because when I do live projects, it is a hands-on experience. The last and the most important thing a student forgets is that when I seek a job and when I get the offer letter, a lot of students do not take this seriously. That is, when an organization gives you an offer letter, they are planning. They are making themselves available to you and they would request you to join on a certain date. A lot of students forget that this is on a timeline. That is, they have a budget, they have a target numbers to achieve. When an individual does not join the organization, their organization again needs to go back and start screening students and recruiting students. So when a student gets an offer letter, he should be sure that this is the company I will be joining and I would like to make my career. Only then apply to these companies. A lot of employers have expressed their dissatisfaction. That is, when a student joins, the student stays with them for minimum 6 months and leaves the organization. Please understand, the employer has spent the whole process of recruitment, has spent to train you, has also given you salaries for 6 months. So when an employer looks at you, he looks at you as an asset to the organization. So it is very important for us to give back in the second 6 months which I am in the organization. I would like to explain all these important things to students, because when an employer comes to an organization on a campus recruitment, he is sure that what he wants, because the job descriptions are same for any B schools across India. The whole process is conducted in the same way. But when it comes to joinings, there is a small shortfall which they expect. But when students do not respond to the employer on joining, that is where a lot of companies have slowly started minimizing that intake. So my sincere suggestion would be to all the MBA graduates who will be passing out this year. The situation out is grim. Yes, COVID-19 has a slowdown in the market. But understand that this is for a temporary purpose. This would always phase out. I have been receiving calls from employers that they also understand that the market scenario is bad for individuals to join companies. But they are slowly moving on to recruiting a fresh graduate and giving them the opportunity to work from home. That is, you will have the whole screening process online happening this time. You will be getting the offer letter. You will be trained to do that job. And when you are trained to do that job, they would expect you to start working from home. This would be for a temporary purpose for 3 months to 6 months. But when you join now and when we need to build this economy, you would be the one who the employer is looking at, because you would be joining them as a fresher at a minimal salary, and that is going to be an advantage to the employer. So my kind request would be for all fresh graduates this year coming out, it is very important for you to grab this opportunity. Even if you have got jobs outside, please make sure that the employer is taking all necessary steps to see that you are safe and you are in a sanitized place of work. Since all this has been an important phase in our career, this COVID-19 will also pass out. We will face this out and we will be looking at a great future ahead for all employers looking at fresh graduates. More importantly, management graduates would be given more emphasis this time because I have seen the whole process of COVID that managing things is more important today. Because we need to rebuild our economy, sales and marketing guys would be always looked at revenue generation. If you're looking at a finance graduate who's going to come out this year, there is a huge opening which is happening on the NBFCs. If you're looking at HR students, the recruitment process is happening from home. A lot of HR consultancy companies have loaded out that freelance recruiters are required to work from home. So when such offers come to you, kindly grab them with both hands. And when looking at that 6 months, please make sure that you give your 100%. And this is where employers would be happy to understand that the situation to recruit a fresher would be an incentive for them. Last, I would like to reiterate that today MBA is a new phenomenon in the market. Especially when you look at an autonomous college which is emphasizing on specializations which are need of the hour. When we are looking at an entrepreneur setting up his own enterprise. A lot of students shy off from startups doing their internships. But take from me, that is the best place for you to do your internship and join, because when you join them and start growing with them, you are also successful along with the startup. A lot of family businesses are run in Belgaum. A lot of our students also come from this background. When they look at family business program and they would like to diversify in the family business sector, it is very imperative to understand and do the internship in their own family business, because a lot of students shy away from that. Just for the sake of doing the internship, they go to a 2-month process, not understanding their own family business. But my request would be, kindly do it in your family business itself, the internship, because you will understand what has the family business, where is the problem, where is that need for my intervention after I complete my MBA. Because when you go and join your family business, they would accept your suggestions. They would willingly accept your decision-making factors. And more importantly, you would start looking at diversification of your existing family business. I would now request, if you have any questions, kindly shoot out. I would be happy to answer any questions. I think there are various people writing down. It's very related to the common good mornings and good afternoons, but no specific questions from anybody. So if you do have any questions, kindly please write to us. We would be happy to address your queries. And thank you. Have a good day ahead.